get into the old record. All right.
Yeah.
That's it. Hey,
Get
who
into
said
it.
that? What? Where'd that voice come from? Where'd that disembodied
Get into
voice?
it.
Is that a
Get
ghost?
into it. No,
Ah,
it's your one of your letters. D. Excuse
it's
me.
the D. What up? D coming in at the end, but always first when it comes to class and style.
Okay.
That's right.
Hello. Thank you,
Right.
Joe.
Of course.
I'm also wearing a turtleneck.
Whoa!
Yeah.
You guys are just coming in with this. What do I have? I'm wearing an athletic tee and the most destroyed hat in my collection. What do you guys think?
Distressed.
That's kind of that's cool if you have
It's
stuff like
distressed,
that.
yeah.
That's
I guess,
Vintage.
yeah.
Distressed.
It's like worn in shoes, you know?
Mm.
It just looks good, sure. Before it stops working completely, but yeah. Anyway, what up? How's it been? Hey, 2 weeks. There it goes, you know? It's been whatever the opposite of a New York minute is. It's been an Ohio minute. Really slow and long and not a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Welcome back to the
Unplugged!
podcast Unplugged streams podcast.
That's right. We're the JAD stream. We're the JAD Unplugged podcast. We're the podcast Unplugged JAD. We're the JAD Unplugged Pod Unplugged. Get them, got them, good.
The JD podcast, previously known as the Triple A.
Yeah, I mean it's all part of the same stream. Yeah, the companies synergized. There was a name change. A little power war happened between the two companies, and you know, JAD came out on top. What can we say? You know, it was a natural
Elon Musk tried to come in. He tried to buy out the company, and you said no. We
don't accept Dogecoin. We will accept your money, but only real money. And he said, I literally don't have any. I have $0. It's all just Doge. Yeah.
Because I'm a billionaire, but it's
just all it's all in the air. But yeah, okay, so we can obviously start in a million different directions. First off, we are recording this on the 25th of January, so when the Capitol riots happen again on the 26th, sorry we missed it. But yeah, this will be the second and last January 2022 podcast as we make our way forward. I don't know if it matters to mention the date and what happens, but just, you know, it's been a little too quiet. There have been some Russian rumblings happening as they amass their entire army at the border of Ukraine, but we'll see.
A little bit sketch.
A little sus. Exactly.
Sus
yeah.
Did you see his interview where he was like defending his actions?
I forget. No, it's like I just
he
saw
was
his
like,
face. And I'm like, always old.
He was like, well, it's not fair if all these countries are NATO and they all get to have weapons to defend themselves against me. Then why can't I have weapons to defend myself against them?
To attack. It's like defend what? Defend them defending themselves.
They're defending themselves. He's basically being that kid in a playground who's like,
he's like Cartman.
They've got more toys than me. They've got bigger toys. It's not fair. I want the big toys.
It's like, but all the toys you have are 10 times the price. You're a spoiled little rich kid.
Yeah.
And you're bullying everyone, and you're constantly, belittling people.
Finally, people are like, had enough with him, and he doesn't like it. Yeah, he doesn't like that they're kind of standing up to him and saying, no, you can't just have our country.
Yeah. What? You guys are stopping me from just like committing war crimes?
Yeah.
How dare? America, I thought we committed war crimes together. And they go, not this time.
Not this time. Biden's in now.
This specific time, no.
Not this time. Biden's in. Trump's out. Biden's in.
No more
tyrants. He likes the Ukrainians.
Yeah.
Your time's up, Putin.
Exactly. Biden, hey, he may be tired, but at least he's not a tyrant. You know? Important distinction between the two old men. You know? Trump may have had way too much energy for someone his age and eating hamburgers and shit, but he was unfortunately trying to become a tyrant. Didn't work. Tried and failed, but you know what they say about failing. You just try again. So I'm sure he'll be back.
Did you see that interview of him a few weeks ago when there was this conservative news reporter, I guess, and she was interviewing Trump, and she was trying to get like, the scoop on conservatives being correct and being right, and like Biden being wrong and how Trump was great and how, you know, the pandemic was handled. But Trump actually, like, it backfired because she thought Trump was going to take her side.
Oh,
but
okay,
Trump
yeah,
actually
yeah.
didn't.
She was like setting shit up. Yeah,
she was
that's
kind,
funny.
yeah, she was like setting up that he would be kind of anti-vaccine and anti like
just
COVID
yeah, like
and kind of thing.
keeping people safe. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, no, I actually came up with the vaccine myself. Very effective, very good. And she was like,
Right, yeah.
but it doesn't work. No, it works really well. I've taken it. It's great. I actually came
She's like,
up with
I don't
it.
believe anything I'm saying. I'm trying to set you up, bro. I thought you were part of the whole anti. Yeah, it's like you're supposed to be the Republican voice, which is one of anti-science. So,
but instead he made it about himself, like
he was claiming to
he was claiming to like the vaccine was all his idea and like it works great.
It's like because it's
so then she like to get herself out of the corner. She's like, yeah, well, we're masking children and we shouldn't mask children, and she tries to like steer it up in a different direction.
Classic pivot, yeah. She slipped and it's like the person in dodgeball thinks they're so cool and they do like a quick dodge and they just like fall over and then just all the balls hit them on the ground.
That sucks.
So I guess it sucks for that random person, but you know, she's just trying to pander and it didn't work. Oops.
Didn't work.
Oops. Yeah. He was still being, you know, his stupid self, but just in a different direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was just trying to claim all success credit. So
yeah,
what are you gonna do? Love that for her. Love that for him. Yeah, that's great. But
great clip. Right before we started recording, we were talking about apartments.
Ooh, yeah, that's right.
Because we had a leak, it got fixed, and then
that's why we didn't have the podcast for a week. That's
why we missed last week's.
Yeah, that was a big issue. You guys went from a wholement to apartment because it was all coming apart. Yeah,
we went from you visiting over Christmas and being like, there's a slight drip you can hear. Don't worry about it.
Totally.
2 weeks later, it was like gushing down the wall.
Yeah. Coincidence? Hey, I didn't do anything. I didn't sabotage the apartment.
Hey, I wasn't doing anything.
Just saying, I didn't do that.
Hey, I wasn't doing anything. I was just...
I'm not putting any ideas in anyone's heads, but I didn't do that. Okay. It was genuine and accident.
Speaking of New York apartments, we don't live in New York. I was just
we love New York, though. Yeah, great place. I visited it once when I was 15. Great place. Yeah.
Yeah, same. I wasn't 15. I was 19. I was 19.
Okay, so it has enough cross.
Do you know of a guy on TikTok who's blown up recently called Axel Weber?
I wouldn't know by name, but I've seen very popular, funny clips of someone interviewing New Yorkers and them just saying really weird stuff. Like, I don't know if that's it. No, that's just interviewing people, and they're like, "Hey, yo, if my dogs are outside, it means I'm getting some bing bong." And I was like, "What?"
Leave your dogs outside your apartment when you bang. The one. They're like,
okay, not that guy.
On like a park bench, and they just shout crazy New York stuff.
Just fun, fun shit. Yeah. Okay, not that. Yeah. What do you?
No, Axel Weber. He's this. I think he's 22. He's just blown up on TikTok, and he's blown up because he's moved into what he's claiming is New York's smallest apartment.
Okay.
And it is very small. It's like you can stretch your arms out and you touch both walls.
Oh, that's gross. Oh, I hate that.
Small?
Yeah.
Oh, that's claustrophobic.
Is there a pooper?
No, the toilet is down the hall, a bit like like in Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire one, where he had to like shower out in there's like a commute, like he had to share.
Right? Yeah. And
then the landlord would be like, "Bring me your rent," and he'd be like, "What was the quote?"
Well, I'll pay rent when you fix this damn door.
Goddamn door.
Pizza time.
Yeah. So it's like that kind of situation, that kind of like apartment that he's in. So that's what. So he started to get fame because everyone's like, "Whoa, he's living in this tiny apartment. And he's got like a tiny bed that only fits the width of the the mattress fits the width."
Yeah.
And then he's playing into this kind of aesthetic now, where he's like, "Okay, I've got this tiny apartment. I've got a tiny bed, tiny life. I've only got an electric stove, one of those like a hot plate kind of stove.
Yeah, the smallest thing you can have.
He's got one pan He's got one spoon. You know, so he's kind of living that life, right? He's only got like 5 changes of clothes, you know.
Hey, that's a lot for that amount of space.
Sure.
He's living the max.
He's living the dream.
Yeah.
And living the space. And then he blew up even more like a week ago because he wants to be an actor. And he moved to New York all by himself.
The dream.
To chase the dream, because New York has a bunch of prestigious acting schools.
Yeah.
One of them being Juilliard.
Oh, okay.
And he had an audition for Juilliard. And he's telling his followers on the week running up to it, it's like, I've got this audition for Juilliard at the weekend. It's coming up.
Yeah.
You know, I really want to pursue acting. But
so you're auditioning to get into the school?
Yeah, you have to audition to get into the school. That's how like tight this school is.
Super competitive.
I will preface real quick. He's got one of those like natural entertainer kind of personas. He reminds me of like 2010 YouTubers, like those like OG YouTubers who are just really natural.
Hey guys.
Yeah, well, maybe not that crazy. Like,
okay.
Hey guys,
not off the wall.
Maybe a little bit Jim Carrey kind of thing. Like he's very kind of goofy and like it's very natural to him, to the point where I'm like, oh, he'll get in. He's definitely gonna be an actor. Like
he's got the it factor. Yeah.
He didn't get in, did he?
So he's building up to the audition. You know, 1 minute TikToks every day, building up to it.
His ass didn't get in.
He doesn't get in. He doesn't get in. He screws up. He's doing Shakespeare monologue, and he I don't know. He screws it up.
Oh no! Says
who cares?
He says,
he has TikTok.
Will instead of Will.
TikTok.
Oh, so tragic.
Man,
I've been invested for like a solid 60 seconds now, and it hurts so bad to hear he didn't make it. I was really,
very sad.
Yeah,
very sad. But he very, very optimistic. He's like, it's fine. Like, you know, it's all good. I'll try again.
There's always next semester.
But the devoted followers, and this isn't my only point, this is one of many points. His devoted followers, though, said, no, we're going to cancel Juilliard.
Oh, boy. Uh-oh.
So they spammed the Juilliard, like Instagram, TikTok, Google reviews, everything.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Let Axel in. Get Axel. How dare you admit Axel into... Whoa. Axel doesn't care. He's like, I just get in. It's all right, it's fine.
There's always next time, right?
But so much that they had to like mute the comments on their social medias because it was all these people, all these crazy fans just saying, how dare you not let Axel in?
They went from like 2 followers probably to like 30,000.
Yeah. But no one saw the audition. And no one knows if this guy can act. I'm just saying he's very naturally entertaining.
Yeah. So many devoted fans.
His audition might have been terrible.
Right, yeah. Garbage.
Right?
Yeah, it could have been
all
worse.
These followers are saying, I can't believe you didn't let him in.
Yeah.
What do you know? You don't know.
Yeah, they don't know if it's good. The judges are probably on point.
So that was like the first thing where it was like, whoa, okay, Axel's fans, a little bit crazy, and it's kind of it's tarnishing his kind of reputation now on TikTok a little bit. It's like, ooh,
right, a little culty.
Okay, a bit crazy. Yeah. Like, you know, dial it back. Also, you might have you fans, devoted fans, might have also now jeopardized any future auditions with any of the like prestigious schools and stuff, who might be like, you know what, Axel, we're actually
all of a sudden he's
audition because we don't want the backlash.
The drama, right? Yeah, he's like getting blacklisted.
Might have got him blacklisted. Yeah. So that was the first thing, and now
he's definitely blacklisted.
He's going back to, you know, he's just like his carefree lifestyle. You know, I'm just living in this tiny apartment. I'm using 1 spoon and 1 bowl for every meal. Yeah. I'm living off ramen and stuff. And he made a point that he buys his groceries from a street vendor in New York.
Okay.
So it's this lady who she sets out a tarp on the ground and she just has like random items from wherever she gets them from.
Right, yeah.
And you can just buy them from her. So, you know, he's been buying his ramen and his peanut butter and his bread and stuff like that from this
just a small
so
humble
woman on the street. This guy just lives in a box and he can't act and he's blacklisted.
He's buying from someone who's selling on a credit, you know. Yeah.
So now people on TikTok are now coming after him, saying like he's cosplaying a poor person.
But,
so this is what I want your thoughts on this. So,
but how?
Found out that he's from a well-off family, not rich, not necessarily rich, but
middle class at least, right?
In Georgia.
Sure. Get our features from Georgia.
people have issue with him moving to New York on his own, with his own money, trying to live on his own.
That's what everybody. Yeah,
and living this life with
that situation has existed for over 100 years. People have done this.
But people
you leave your family and your safety.
People are saying he's choosing this lifestyle. They're saying if he wanted to, he could have a regular apartment and he could eat regular food. But he's choosing to live this kind of.
Well, if he did it,
he's his own person. That's silly.
Okay, the way I see it though, it's like, okay, so your stands.
Some family members really don't help,
and then there's people that are not gonna like you.
Well, yeah, those weird like fans that hate you. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if he was in a regular apartment, the chances of him having that huge fan base and being somebody would be a lot slimmer than if he's in that box.
Right. So the question is, was that intentional?
He's just a clout chaser. It's like when clout.
Wait, but that's a thick assumption. We don't know. I mean, it's up in the air, so I think it's a 50-50. Either what he did was strategic, in which case that's very manipulative of his crazed fans. That doesn't excuse the fans for being crazy, but that is manipulative if that is what he did, and then he gets no sympathy. But the other side of it is that, and this is for a lot of people. I mean, I'm not the most hardcore at this, but like I'll usually post pictures to my Instagram of just the life I'm living. And so if there's less pictures, it's because I'm not doing anything. But like if I were to do something like move to New York to try to like pursue a dream of mine, I would, because now the modern app is TikTok, I'm sure I would just like record my daily goings on. And if people found that journey that I was taking interesting and started getting followers off of that, that would have been a side effect and not the intention of me posting those videos. The videos is just me recording my life the same way that people did before the internet, making scrapbooks and stuff. You just take pictures. So the difference now is that you do it publicly, but
this person is what I'm in my okay. What I'm trying to say is yes, in that sense. So it's like I'm living out of my. It's like, okay, I'm doing a YouTube channel and I'm too broke and I'm living out of my car, and then all of a sudden my channel blows up. Right? It's like now you want to continue that, so it's like, okay, give them back the car stuff. Do I now live in a house or do I go back to a car? It's like it'd probably be better if I was living in a car. That's what
to keep. I guess the narrative. Yeah. So where it starts innocent and then becomes manipulative. So
it's not that it's manipulative. It's just more of, it's like he found the algorithm, so now he's just enhancing it even more. So it's like he's like when Aidan first mentioned, it's like he's in a box, right? But what more can we add? Now we can add, I only have 5 shirts. Now I only eat with 1 spoon. Now I shop only with this lady. Like it just keeps adding more onto a niche essentially of a broke, or maybe, I don't know if it's broke, but whatever, someone that has not so much money or lives a very, very simple lifestyle in New York. That's the niche. That's all.
Right. So yeah, it could be a thing where it started innocent, became intent. It became instead of using the word manipulative, it goes from innocent to intentional, something like that. So that could have happened before the Juilliard thing. It could have happened after at some point. But I guess the question is, once you start getting followers, what do you do then? I don't know if people are making money off TikTok. I assume they must, but only through like sponsorships. Through YouTube, it's ads, but you don't get ads with TikTok. You get ads in between scrolling videos.
True.
So I assume it's only sponsors.
I think you can make money if you're in America. Usually the American accounts do end up getting those benefits. I think.
They find a way to make income.
Maybe the live streams. Maybe you get them if you do the live streams. I'm not quite sure.
But
these haters are saying, oh, well, he's choosing to do this way. But it's like, if he lived in a regular apartment, living more of a regular lifestyle, just taking the train, it would be a lot maybe harder for him to, get this initial crowd that helped him, or maybe not helped him.
Well, at this point, it seems like he's only been having negative.
Events occur. I'd say that I see the negative stuff a lot because the algorithm just keeps showing me them because I stop and read the comments.
Right.
I'm on his side. I think he's great. But like if he stopped living in a small apartment and got a regular sized one, I think he would definitely see a drop in.
Yeah, I'd be like, you're a sellout. Why would you do that?
But
I thought that was the lifestyle. If not, then
the thing with New York is it's so expensive. If he suddenly could start affording to live in a regular sized apartment,
exactly.
he'd probably still be eating cheap street food because all his money would be going towards the rent of the regular apartment.
Yeah, straight up.
Be able to afford meals still anyway, because
that is a good point. Even a boost in your income would still get you a small apartment, you know.
Yeah,
correct. At least by Toronto standards, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
Or if it was like, you know, like more of like, again, like a more Peter Parker vibe where he's just struggling, like the doors
brick
don't
walls,
work.
you know. Yeah,
you can hear the rain trickling in. He's got to like, you know, the air conditioner's hanging from the window.
Yeah, and I'm sure his parents have said like, we'll support you if you need us, and I'm just guessing he's gone, I want to try and do this on my own. It seems that way. It seems like he's just, you know, he just moved there, didn't know anyone, got this tiny apartment. He's got no belongings, and he's trying to make it as an actor.
Yeah, I love that.
You know,
like, why do you need so much anyways? You just need like a room. Why do you need a whole bunch of all this stuff? Like, that's just room. That's just room for confusion. If he's focusing on Shakespeare, he needs to be focusing on that, not how many pieces of furniture he has and like how many spoons.
Yeah. No, that's a really good point. Yeah. Room for confusion. That's so funny. Because I like I worked for a month as a mover, so not a long time before I was out.
Okay.
It was like the place was on the verge of like going on strike because of how poorly they were treating their employees. So I was like, I picked a bad time to start working here. So after a month, I was like, I'm out. But while there, I was talking to some people because we're moving out houses. So they're like, hey, like, what would your dream house be? That kind of thing, right? And then everybody starts listing all this stuff. They're like, oh, like, yeah, I would definitely get it, like, not in the city. I would kind of get it, like, where it's on the edge, but it's not suburbia. It's still kind of the boonies. That we have, like, a lot of land, set up a garage with, like, a workshop, have, like, a big house, like, at least 5 rooms. That way, even though, like, you want to have a normal-sized family, you can still, like, have people over and, like, have parties on the weekends, that kind of stuff. I was like, oh, sure. And then, you know, and then eventually when it goes to me, it's just like, well, I didn't have an answer at all, but I had to make up something. So I was like, I don't know. I mean, you know, you guys seen the movie Cheaper by the Dozen. I feel like I would do something where I'd get a house that has like a bunch of secret rooms and, you know,
so
and then
fun.
there's like a secret, like you pull the bookshelf and then a tunnel appears and you like slide down and it just like shoots you out in the backyard. Like something like that, you know?
Into a haystack. Or into a leaf stack.
Yeah. I'd have like a bar and, you know, and just have it for like hay and having fun. I don't know. I would just create like an adult-sized kid play place or something, right? And then
why is that house so amazing on Cheaper by the Dozen? Why is that house just so like it just is so homey? It just screams home.
For whatever reason, that's like the biggest memory I have of that movie. I haven't seen it in 10 plus years, like whenever it came out, but I always remember that house because there's just it's like a one-off scene. One of the kids, like one of the nerdy kids, who just kind of finds a secret thing, goes in and shoots him out outside. Dad's like, hey, how'd you get here? He's like, oh, just came down. And that was it. I was like, oh, that's so cool. I want that.
The loner kid of the family who goes missing at the end.
Yeah, he's so cute. He's like, he's just a redhead with glasses, and he has a little toad.
Yep. Called.
It's like Frankie or something.
I don't know. Yeah, now you guys are going into trivia.
Is it called Beans?
Is Beans the friend or is Beans the frog?
No,
that's
Ian Stevens' neighbor, Beans.
Speaking of which, though.
Right?
Speaking of which, this is like totally off the point now, but God, what's his name? I'm just gonna type in Beans now.
Oh yeah, I've seen this.
I've seen this. This is not Photoshop. Yeah, have you seen this?
Mm-hmm.
He literally looks the exact same.
Oh, I have seen the picture.
And it's not like I'm not like doing this for like oh look at him kind of a thing, but it's like just he grew up, but his face stayed as a child, and he just got older and older.
Mentioned this like a while ago, and I had looked it up.
It's like, man,
if he shaved the beard, he's probably just going to be just as young looking.
Yeah, he would just look like a kid again.
Yeah.
His face stayed perfectly circular. It's wild. And it's like, bless his soul. I mean, I don't know what he's doing now. I know he's on Cameo because that's how I originally found out. I was just scrolling and then I saw him and I was like, it's Paid for Me with Stevens. dude, he's bald now and he's got like a beard. It's so weird. But yeah, this isn't a judgment thing. Bless his soul. Bless his soul.
Was he? What was that, Deep?
It's so annoying. I hated him on Nathan Stevens. He was so
You hated him?
Yeah.
There's that one episode where they're like, they were just curious because he always came over to their house, but they never saw his house. So they like follow him from a distance and they're like curious where his house is. And he keeps walking and he goes to the edge of town and he goes into the woods and they keep following him. And then he goes into like this cabin and there's no one in it. And he's just like living on his own as a child. Like,
no way.
Like, this is what Bean's doing? And he's like, yeah, my parents, they're just out a lot, like on vacation. They're like, but why do you live in the middle of the woods in a cabin? That's so weird. I forget how the episode ends. I just remember, like, that's another like core memory of mine.
Crazy.
Where I'm like, what the fuck? Like, Beans, he lives in the woods, of course. That makes no sense. The ultimate mystery confirmed. Yeah,
that's funny.
But yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I mean, hey, bless Axel. Hope he's doing okay, and his fans aren't like eating him, because I know that can happen a lot, right? Where your fans end up turning on you.
True, and we only see what he chooses to put out there. So I only ever see his happy, kind of positive.
Right. He could be crying all day, and then for 1 minute he's laughing and smiling.
Yeah.
We'll see. What if that was his audition? What if he was crying the whole time for his audition? He was just doing like this really sad, morbid character.
He did. He did when he went viral for not getting into Juilliard. He did get signed by an agency.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So success. So
he got that
through TikTok.
But I think that also pissed a
Oh.
lot of people. Like, he doesn't just because he like. What about all the other people who flopped it that day? Like, why does he?
Well, they don't have a TikTok.
He does. Exactly. He's put himself out there on TikTok. He's gained some followers, and he's making himself famous.
Networking 101.
He's living the dream.
Yeah.
He's living the New York dream.
Yeah.
You can't get upset at that. That's literally how people get famous. It's popularity, essentially, right? That you can get famous through talent, but I feel like most famous people, it's through popularity.
Yeah. Nepotism.
Right. You have to have like some kind of service level of acting.
Yeah.
Some kind of chops, even if it's just a personality. But yeah, it's a lot of it's just. Yeah.
Someone on TikTok kind of like replied to him, saying like, "Oh, I've auditioned for Juilliard before, and I'll tell you what happened at my audition."
Okay. Yeah.
That's
comments are just like, we don't care.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
No, she said she auditioned years before, so like they could. Oh, because his had to be over Zoom because of COVID.
Right. Okay.
Oh wow,
from
that's
New York apartment over Zoom. Anyway, but she said she physically went in, and there was 100. They must audition 100 people at a time, and you go up and you do a monologue, and then you wait at the side, and everyone does, and then at the end of the day. And then she says, whoever it was, the casting director or whatever the person is auditioning people, the auditioner. She goes, "Thank you all for your time," and she holds up a piece of paper. I need a prop.
Yeah. Carrot Top over here. Okay, yes.
She goes, "This is the call sheet. No, this is the list of everyone who got in."
Yeah.
I'm not going to read them out. Your name's on here. I'm just going to leave it on the wall.
What a coward. List it. Tell them.
Yeah, if you're on it, you're on it. If not, try again. Yeah.
That's a coward's move. Yeah.
Leaves it on the wall. She leaves. Everybody rushes up. It's blank.
Bruh.
Why is it blank? She's more than a
because
coward.
She's evil.
Because Juilliard is savage at getting people in.
Yeah, talk about like abusing your power. Savage. That's so
they
mean.
Just don't let anybody in?
She could have just said, "Oh, sorry, none of you were good enough," but she went and decided to put on this performance.
It's like that's funny for like a tale, but those 100 people that were led on, that is like
see their name and they were like, "Huh, it's blank." Turning it over, probably seeing the other side.
Be like, "Oh, obviously it's a mistake." Yeah. Damn. Yo, they should have rioted. They should have broken into the door that she just closed and beheaded all 3 of the judges or whoever they were. Just Lord of the Flies it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Either that or throw their lunch.
So yeah, exactly. Just get what's on their table and just toss. Be like, you pick that up, you shitty judges.
Especially if it's like hot soup.
Yeah, just some kind of liquidy meal, just mashed potatoes, something. Just turn it over
potatoes.
and
take that, piss heads.
Some kind of goop. Yeah.
Yeah. Goopier the better.
So you guys can tell me if this is a rough segue or not, but Sam and I just recently finished a new show that people are buzzing about. I don't know if you guys have seen this. This is the first time I'm even bringing it up to you guys, but it's kind of Lord of the Flies-esque. Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, we've not seen it, but we want to see it. But we also don't know if we should see it. It's set in Canada, right? And then it's like Lord of the Flies, but it's women because it's woke and it's women, but it's Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, it's just filmed in Canada. It's not really set in Canada. It's set in New Jersey. But Jersey. Apparently, New Jersey is more popular than Toronto. So yes, I say.
I saw the premise, and obviously try not to spoil it because I think we will watch it because it does look good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I saw the premise, and it's like, the tagline is, whatever it is, high school trip. They crash land in the Canadian wilderness. And
it says Canadian wilderness?
I think so. Something.
It's not mentioned in the show. It's just the wilderness.
Okay. Maybe.
It's probably right on the border, It's BC/Seattle, that kind of wooded area.
It's North America.
Yeah.
And it's like, and they, survive. And I was like, bit strange, because although North America is very big, is it that hard to not find someone when an entire plane crashes? And then I was like, it must only be for a few days. Joe, how long are they lost for?
They are lost in the woods for a year and a half. And they don't get found. They just make their way back. So, after chilling.
Does that make sense to you?
People can go missing in the woods. Obviously, we have things like trackers and stuff on planes. You don't want planes to crash into each other, so you got to know where planes are at all times. So due to that, they should have been found. So the year and a half thing does not make total sense. It's set in the 90s.
Okay.
It's a private jet. It's not a commercial airline.
Okay.
One of the high school girls has a rich dad, one of those things. It's kind of like Spider-Man No Way Home. There can be certain things that logically maybe don't add up, but you say, listen, if it's for the emotional impact, if it's to get the plot going,
we'll take it.
One of those things.
Yeah.
We might let that slide then.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. I mean, listen, so we already finished season 1. There will be more seasons. This isn't a limited series thing where the story's over. I'm just upset that they left it on such a cliffhanger, because I was like, that didn't feel like the end of a season, but like, whatever, just gotta wait for season 2 now. Wait an entire year, because like it just came out. But I would definitely recommend it, Definitely better than Wheel of Time, even though I haven't seen that one.
Oh, no, that was garbage. Did you ever see The Wilds on Prime?
Oh God!
No, I made sure to avoid it, thanks to you.
Yeah, because it's just interesting that only
it's the
came
good
out.
version of that.
That's what's interesting. That came out only the year before, and that was the same premise. It was a bunch of high school girls. Their plane goes down. They're trapped in the wilderness.
Honestly,
Lord of the Flies.
I wouldn't be surprised if, because this happens a lot in the film industry, once a script gets greenlit, it then takes a long time to set up pre-production, casting. If there's action sequences, take time to train the people, and then you start shooting. So it's not like once they start shooting, that's when other people get to hear about it in the industry. People in the industry get to hear about it the second it gets greenlit. So, and this show, Yellow Jackets, feels like it took a long time to make. This feels like an actual passion project that someone had. They spent a long time setting up every character to have their own arc, set up all these plot lines, all these mystery threads that you get to follow, 2 different timelines, then and now, that you follow simultaneously. And The Wilds, though I haven't seen it, I have seen several scenes thanks to your review, and I gotta say, that one seems like it might have actually been a reaction to Yellow Jackets, even though it came out a year before. Something tells me that they just rushed it out the door. Tons of film companies do this. Back in the day, I remember when the first Transformers came out in 2007, I went to Rogers Video, not expecting to see it there, but I'm like kind of scrolling through the new releases, and then I see something called like Transmorphers, and I was like, oh, what is this? And like they kind of tricked me for a second. It was like clickbait. Someone made an entire movie and made sure it got out the door before Transformers, and it's just a shitty like almost it's like porn budget, like super just the worst acting, worst lighting. It's basically non-script. It's like half it's ad-libbed. It's just awful. And they just put it out there to try and clickbait and trick like parents into buying it. And they go, wait, I thought this was Transformers. What the hell is this?
It's kind of like you find it in the dollar store.
Yeah, like it's worse than YouTube. Like it's like there's no production quality. It's just awful.
Oh my gosh, was it actual Transformers in there though? There's no way.
Transformers didn't come out until later, but that movie was created to trick just gullible parents or grandparents into renting it. About, though? So that one specifically, a bunch of people are underground and they're just having drama. So it's basically like the show Big Brother. And then above ground, they only show, there's probably like 1 minute worth of CGI. And it's just terrible, super shitty CGI, like big robots fighting above ground. And it's like the apocalypse. And then it's just the whole movie is just people underground being like, did you take my sandwich? And it's just people, oh my God, I hate you. And then like eventually it's like, come on, guys, I think I found a way out. Like there's actually no plot whatsoever.
Right.
And it's like an hour and 20 minutes, like whatever the length is, like they barely get you there,
Yeah.
That was like that Ruby Rose movie we watched the other day. Well, we didn't watch it. Yeah. We couldn't make it.
Oh no, okay. But what is it? Where was that?
It was on Netflix. I can't remember the name. It was like one of those one-word kind of stinger names where it's like Singularity or like something like that. Yeah. And it's Ruby Rose and Morgan Freeman. So that could be what you type in. I think it's 90 minutes. We got halfway. We got 40 minutes in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We were done. Joe, 40 minutes in, halfway back, nothing had happened. Nothing had happened. And it was meant to be an action movie.
Right, yeah.
And the action hadn't started yet.
Oof.
And she got on a motorcycle.
The weirdest... She drove a motorcycle. The weirdest thing for us, though, that was really jarring is that the director or the editor had decided that they were going to have all these old school fade transitions.
Okay.
Like that you would use in Windows Movie Maker. Fade transitions.
Yeah, we love those.
Graduation videos.
Graduation slideshows.
Not just like from one scene fading to the next scene like they do in Star Wars. It's like, okay, Star Wars, you can do the, It's sometimes, Joe, it was shots. It was like shot, reverse shot, we'll fade transition.
Oh, that's ugly.
Close up with a hand grabbing something, we'll fade transition to it.
Oof.
And then we'll fade transition back. Whilst that one's still fading, we'll fade another one in. So you get like a double trans. It was awful.
Yeah,
and the sound quality sounded really bad. And Morgan Freeman, do you need to pay bills? Why are you doing these movies?
Do you have the Nick Cage effect right now, where you need to pay off expensive cars? What's happening?
Well, it was just next level cheap.
There was a movie we watched in the summer when Cameron was here as a Bruce Willis film. And it was also really Cosmic Sin, Bruce Willis.
I started to watch that one, and after his first scene on screen, which doesn't happen until like 15, 20 minutes in, after that first scene, I was like, I can't, and I just stopped.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is awful.
Same type of budget. Who knows? Maybe it might be the same producers. I did some research. I was like, how is this possible? Because the budget of the film is so cheap. Like, because that was a sci-fi movie. They had like all this armor and stuff.
Yeah,
but it was clearly like airsoft armor, and they kind of like spray painted it white and kind of added stuff on stormtrooper helmets and stuff.
Yeah, it's so cheap.
But then they were filming the whole thing in like a forest, like like it looked.
I remember
like
a tent,
regular like Hamilton
and then a bar.
Forest. Yeah, I was like, this is so cheap, and so I was looking at it, so how the hell have they afforded Bruce Willis, but then they can't afford it? So it turns out Bruce Willis, I think it was, he charges $1 million a day.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's his like going rate.
Yeah.
So I theorized that what they did for his movie and what they did for Morgan Freeman is they get $1,500,000. And they get them for literally a weekend, and they're like, okay, we've got you for a day or a day and a half, whatever, and they film all their scenes in that one tiny window, and that's why Bruce Willis just isn't trying because he knows that it's like everything's got to be in one take, and it's like he doesn't care. He's just doing it for money, and they get all their scenes done, and then he's done, and then they have, you know, a smidgen of the budget left now to film the rest of the movie with all these unknown actors who've never acted before, and they're filming it in just a forest in someone's garden, and that must be the case.
Yeah. Not only is that must be the case, but that's like so evident just looking at it. It's so depressingly evident. It's
so mean.
It's like Bruce Willis hates being there. He gives the worst performance of his career every time. Everyone there resents him for doing such a shitty job, but being so expensive. And then for the rest of it, they probably just have to pay for it themselves. You know, it's like everybody's pulling pockets, like the camera guy, the grip, everybody's like chipping in to try to make it happen, hoping to make money off of it just by using him in the poster. Oh,
exactly. So yeah. Get his name on it.
Yeah, that's why I clicked it, because he was there.
It's just his face, and you're like, oh, I wonder what he's been up to after so long, and it's like, oh, just the worst shit possible.
Yeah. And then like this Ruby Rose one, Morgan Freeman is. You know, obviously we only saw half the movie, so who knows? But for the half that we saw, his character happens to be in a wheelchair, so he's confined to his apartment. Isn't that convenient for the budget that he never has to leave to a different location? So he's just in the apartment the whole time. Brilliant.
Damn. Pain. One word. In the words of Will Smith in that tweet that he made after finding out his wife was cheating on him. Pain.
Yeah.
Pain. He literally just doesn't move the 40 minutes we saw, he didn't move.
Morgan, don't do this. You're a quality man. Don't go down the dark path of Bruce Willis.
I know. He's a legend.
Yeah. Yo, honestly, like Jim Carrey kind of fell off the map like for a while. I feel like for a decade, and then he comes back with like Sonic the Hedgehog, and everyone's thinking, oh, is he like, oh, is this gonna be sad? Like, is he just doing this because like he's like family friends with like whoever the director is, like one of those things where he's just doing it as a favor? And then the movie came out, and it's like, oh no, he's actually like being super like high energy and like
really
giving his usual performance. And you're like, oh, this is great. Is Jim Carrey back? And it's like, yeah, now he's doing the sequel. So it's like, that's kind of hype.
Yeah.
And then other actors, it's like, oh, it's been forever, and they're in this kind of random movie. Maybe this is like based on a book. Maybe it's going to be one of those like sneaker hits or sleeper hits where it's like, oh, it's good and it's like Oscar bait. And then you're like, oh no.
No.
But it's, oh god.
Oh,
like,
no.
Speaking of Bruce Willis, I highly recommend no one watch this. I don't know why I did it. I think like it was the weekend, and I just kind of like smoked a J, and I was like, all right, let's do this. And I watched Midnight in the Switchgrass, and it's with Bruce Willis and Megan Fox, and the guy from the opening scene of Inception. He was also in the movie Contraband with Mark Wahlberg. Super, like, clearly him being in Inception was like a breakout role for him because he wasn't really in anything aside from that. He's the guy who has the really interesting face, which I'm sure that's why he.
Yeah, okay. He's the one who like he doesn't betray them, but like he messes up, right?
He messes up, and then he ends up getting like no, I think he does. I think he sells them out, but then that leads to him then being killed. Like he's like dragged off as they're getting in the helicopter. Yeah, so that actor is in this movie as a serial killer. And you follow his story for a long time in a way where you're like, this guy isn't scary to me. He's just like this loving dad, but he's like this Christian that kills hookers. And you're like, all right.
Oh.
And their motivations are really weird. Like he keeps like, saying like bad girls are sinful and I got to kill them. But it's like really goofy and literally sounds like it's like the beginning of a porno. And like the girls dying are very unconvincing. And then the people chasing them, they're also Christian, and it has that guy from Into the Wild, which I forget if he was like kind of canceled or not, if he was like a weirdo. I think he might be like an asshole offset. That actor who played
Emil,
the titular.
Emil Hirsch?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like I like him as an actor. I forget if he's kind of like weird offset, but he kind of disappeared. He was in like this funny movie with Paul Rudd where they like kind of paint the road like in the wilderness. It's a very interesting movie, but I forget what that one's called. But regardless, he's in this movie as a cop. Okay. He's a Christian, and he's like talking to his like wife about it. And he's like, sometimes I wonder if I made a mistake. God put me on this earth for a reason, and I gotta find these killers. And then meanwhile, the killer's like, God put me on this earth for a reason to kill people, and I'm like, honestly, you're probably both right. I don't know. At this point, I don't really give a fuck. Like,
God's just seeing who wins.
God pinned you both against each other. Yeah, it's like when nations are both Christian nations, like in the medieval ages, and they both fight each other, and they're both screaming for God, like under God is glory. Or like sports team nowadays, it's like
Catholics
God have our back, and they both prayed, and it's like I guess God's literally on both your sides, and you know. It's like that quote from It's Always Sunny. It's like, I play both sides. That way I'm always on top.
But it's so interesting, Joe, that is the plot of the movie, because we watched one at the weekend. Another low budget.
At the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
It had...
saying that at the weekend.
Is it Alyssa Milano or Melissa Milano?
Oh, yeah, Alyssa Milano.
Alyssa Milano.
Did we watch it yesterday? No, it must have been on the weekend.
I think
it must have been on the weekend.
Yeah, maybe Sunday. So are you familiar with Alyssa Milano?
I might, but not the name. What? Well, first, what was this movie, and then what else has she been in?
Couldn't tell you the name of the movie.
Oh no!
She was from Charmed. Do you ever see Charmed back in the day?
When that come out?
Early 2000s. It was witches, but it was a TV show, and they were witches. It's kind of like Buffy, but not as like dark and violent as Buffy. But that kind of. I'm
sure I'd like maybe seen it in the background and stuff.
Sure.
I got a lot of siblings.
Anyway, she was in that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
she was established. Yeah.
Plot of the movie is webcam girls are getting murdered. Very similar plot.
Oh no! Yeah.
By someone who's like, oh, these women shouldn't be doing this. I'm gonna. Yeah. But there was some weird choices. Like, it was okay. It was kind of slightly like more like, but just like a mature rated Hallmark movie,
Right.
But we're watching it, and they're like, oh, they've got a bunch of suspects, and like, who could these suspects be? And they keep saying like, oh, well, we found some size 11 prints, and we found this and that.
Yeah.
And it's you.
It was me. Yeah. They actually filmed me just without my consent, just walking around. Yeah. They're like,
yeah.
Just like,
but early on, there's like this scene in a high school. It turns out one of the victims, she was moonlighting as a webcam girl at night, but during the day she was a high school teacher.
Oh, true. Okay. Yeah.
Right. So it's like, oh, did one of the high school students find out who she was at night? Or maybe it's the janitor, because we're also showing a shot of the janitor looking suspicious, peeking out from behind a wall, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, tons of suspicious shots of people that way. Yeah.
And then it's like she has one conversation. The girl who's investigating, she has one conversation with one of the students, and immediately we're like, it's him, and we're like 12 minutes into it. Him.
Yeah.
That one. The creepy one. It's the creepy one.
Yeah.
A little bit later on, because the first murder happens off screen, we don't see it happen. Then there's the second murder. This time they show it. They show the killer, and and he's wearing a hood. He's wearing a mask. He's got gloves up. Right, we can't see any skin or anything.
Right. Yeah.
But he's got this exact same build as that kid who we just pointed at.
Yeah.
And we're like, it's him.
Yeah.
And then the cops show up, and they're like, and the girl managed to get away this time though, so she managed to profile him.
Yeah.
And she's like telling the cops, he's like, yeah, he was really strong, and he was, I think he was maybe about 6 feet tall, and he had a watch on, and but he sounded young, like a kid.
Right.
So like, oh, right, and they go to the high school, and they're pulling up all the kids, and they're like, well, that kid's tall, and we're looking at him, and he's like the jock of the school. He's big and muscly. Like, it's not him.
Yeah.
It's not him. It's the other one.
Yeah.
The one we said it was.
Yeah.
It's not the big tall jock one. It's the other one. So they arrest the big tall jock one. It's not him. He had an alibi. It's not him. It's the other one. Guess who it is, Joe? It's the one we said it was.
There it is. It was the janitor all along.
No.
Oh man. Yeah, that's painful though. When it's that obvious.
So is the janitor.
So obvious.
Yeah. Don't show the figure of the person thinking that no one will notice. How many people on this planet and how many years must pass of like everybody being like, no superhero could get away with having an alias unless they're completely covered head to toe, and even then their figure is so obvious, and when they speak it's so obvious, Yeah. And it's still people are trying to get away with it, even like in these kind of murder mysteries. another example of that is the new Dexter show that came out. Without saying any spoilers, there is a killer that is not Dexter. This happens in every season. There's like the season-long killer,
right?
Who's basically like the mirror of Dexter, where they're also a serial killer, but it doesn't fit the code, kind of a thing, killing innocent people. So Dexter's like, gotta kill this person. At first, he doesn't know that there's a killer. There's just girls that go missing in his backwoods area where he lives now, and it's like by probably episode like 4 or 5 or something, they reveal who it is. But before then, in episode 1, you meet all of the characters of this town that he lives in. You meet the person selling guns. You meet the person at the grocery store. You meet the person at the diner who owns that. You're meeting everyone. Yeah, they show you all of the people, and everyone has a distinct figure. No one looks the same. There's the skinny, tall person. There's the short person. There's the big, the bulky person. And then when they do like and now there's a mysterious serial killer, you're instantly like, oh, it's that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Unless like a new character will be revealed later, like, oh, hey, and here's my brother with the same figure as me. Then it's like, oh, it could be one or the other, but otherwise it was so obvious. And then eventually it shows, and it's like, yeah. Why don't you just do like a behind the head, like over the shoulder shot? That way we'd have no idea what their figure is.
Or like we said, like bring in a red herring where it's like, well, we thought it was all these suspects, but wait a minute, this guy
turns
out of town for a few days and he's returned to town.
Or like this person's brother, or something, right? Where it's like, he's new in town.
Calling it a red herring too.
Yeah, you got to have those red herrings.
Yeah, I will say there was one red herring in, or maybe I shouldn't say, Mayor of Easttown. Have you guys heard of that show?
Filmed in Hamilton, starring Jeremy Renner. We have not.
I don't think I
No, Jeremy Renner. No. What's her name from Titanic?
Oh, no, you're totally right. Yes, my mistake. He is in one with a similar name, though.
Okay. Yeah. But no, I don't know. I don't know which one he's in. But
yes, no, you're on about
it's Mare. Her name is Mare, but it sounds like you're saying mayor. Like she's the mayor of this town.
Yes,
no,
that's the confusion.
Her name is Mare, and she's of Easttown. Yeah.
Yes.
What's her name? Titanic lady. Come on. So Kate Winslet. Yeah, there we go. Okay. She's a detective who's just has a lot of issues that she's working through, and unfortunately it distracts her with her job. There have been more than one killing in the last year or something, right? So it's like, oh, we might have a serial killer on our hands, but we don't know yet. New guy comes to town. We're like, oh, and it's an A-list actor. My boy, Guy Pearce. Love that guy. I'm like,
Guy Pearce. Wow, that's cool.
I'm like, yo, you got Guy? I'm like, so obviously he's the killer. He's just going to be this random guy who's new in town, but like isn't a titular character. Then obviously he's the killer. Turns out, no. Just them hiring him because he's such a high-list actor and he's barely in the show was the red herring because it's like, brilliant. He didn't turn out to be anything.
That's great.
I was like, that's smart. I'm like disappointed because it's like my boy Guy didn't get really any screen time.
Yeah,
like, okay.
that's great.
That's a good way. Though.
Yeah, spoilers, I guess. I won't tell you the killers, but yeah.
Well, okay, so I googled it. So your show is called Mayor of Easttown.
Yeah.
But Jeremy Renner's show that came out this year, filmed in Hamilton, starring Jeremy Renner, is Mayor of Kingstown.
Come on.
Why are you doing this to us?
Mayor of Kingstown, Mayor of Easttown. What the heck? Who made that? Is that HBO Showcase? Disney?
I believe it's Paramount. I think it's Paramount. I think it was their
new streaming service. Then I'll never see it, or I'll watch it on Putlocker.
Yeah, Paramount original.
Yeah.
And the synopsis is, the McCluskey family are power brokers tackling themes of systemic racism, very woke, corruption, and inequality in Kingstown, Michigan, where the business of incarceration is the only thriving industry.
Oh, no, well, that's not a good industry to be thriving. Goddamn.
Yeah, so it's basically a town that has a prison in it, and basically everyone in the town works at the prison or they're in prison. Like, all the...
Yeah, that's kind of like Guelph. It's like Guelph is prosperous just because it has a university. It's like everybody comes there and there's business there because everyone goes to that university. It's kind of sad when there's only like one thing keeping a place going. Yeah. It makes me sad. I'm like, you need one other thing at least. You got to have at least two things going for you. But
at least two.
What can you do? It's the difference between a city and a town, I guess. Yeah.
I guess.
True. Okay, so I guess none of us will watch that show with Jeremy Renner. don't bless his soul because apparently he's an asshole off set.
Really? I don't want to
Jeremy.
that.
Unless I'm thinking of someone else. Hawkeye.
Yeah, that's Jeremy Renner.
Yeah. I like him as an actor, but yeah, apparently he's a total asshole. Like just big time creeper. Like I mean, obviously this Hawkeye from all the Marvel movies. Hurt Locker, he was just the guy from that movie.
I'm not really a fan.
SWAT.
I'm not really a fan.
SWAT. He's very
Born Legacy, which I was like into until it ended, and I was like, oh, nothing ended up happening. But I was like, I love the premise.
Yeah, so this is why I like his career, because they bring him in for these like, you're going to be the next one, Renner.
Yeah.
Over Renner, and then they never do. So like they bring him into the Bond movies, and they're like, Renner, you're going to be the new Bond, and then the movie flopped, and they're like, just kidding,
like
Matt Damon's back. Just kidding. Sorry, Renner.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
And then Mission Impossible 5 or whatever it was. They're like, Renner.
4, I think. Yeah, they bring him.
You're going to be the next Ethan Hunt.
He was good in that.
Yeah, you're taking over Tom Cruise. Nope.
Just kidding. Tom Cruise is still here, Renner. Sorry, Renner.
I didn't die from his stunts. Oops. Yeah, we tried to kill him, but he just survived. Yeah. We blew up the thing.
Poor guy.
Yeah. So that's probably what made him an asshole. Because in interviews and stuff, he's like a total dick.
Oh, okay.
I actually, just because we're on the topic, because we're probably going to end on a note like this, I got to look into the recent Jeremy Renner, because he was on Hawkeye. It was really good.
Yep. I like
but
Hawkeye.
I got to look up Offset. I forget if Turn Down High Profile confirms.
Well, Zendaya and Tom Holland right now.
He broke both his arms during Infinity War. God dang. Anyway,
I think I remember that. Yeah.
It was probably just gossip, but I remember something about how he was kind of like really, really, really difficult to work with that actress. Her name's not Halsey. Why is that in my head? What's that? No. Who's the new Hawkeye? Haley Steinfeld?
Yeah, Steinfeld.
Yeah. But that may have just been a rumor, because I just tried Googling and didn't really find anything. Yeah. So Derron, how's your feed on Aidan right now? Can you see him?
Oh,
Is he alive or is he frozen?
I can see him.
Yeah. Can you hear him?
I think he's frozen.
Yeah, he might be frozen.
I can't hear him either, actually. No.
Aidan! We'll just assume that Jeremy Renner got him. He's like, don't you start saying bad things.
What is that the right? Isn't that her? Is that the right name though? What was the name again?
Oh, Haley.
Steinfeld. Something like that, right?
Steinfeld.
Okay, there we go. Oh, Aidan's back.
Am I back?
Yeah. We lost it for a sec.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Aidan's.
I was just shocked. Yeah, Renner came in to get me, but I fought him off.
Nice, good. Keep him.
Me and Renner, we had a tussle.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, Renner, I really like you in the movie Wind River, and he was like, cool.
And that was good.
He left.
Yeah. So, wait. Okay. Did you do research after the movie? I didn't. I just took it at face value. Isn't that fun whenever you just like base things off of movies and say, this is a fact in my brain now? Wind River, how he's just explaining being in the freezing cold and like being naked, and you run, your lungs will explode from the extreme temperature difference, and you'll drown in your own blood.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Is that a fact?
That's value. I accept that. Yeah.
I just accept that as a fact. Yeah, because they mention it twice in the movie.
I would accept that.
They double down in the movie and explain it to the audience twice. They're like, fun fact: the body cannot handle extreme temperature changes, and running will exert so much. You're inhaling so much colder than what your body's producing that before you can even have hypothermia, your lungs explode.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, Joe.
Have you ever been for?
I personally hate the cold, so I'm.
Yeah. Well, have you ever been for like a run or a jog on a cold day? Because it does hurt your throat and your lungs and your chest. So it could be. It could be a thing.
Oh my goodness! People do that.
I straight up hate the cold. I hate the cold. I hate the idea of dying from the cold. Hate the cold. Always have, always will. Born and raised in the cold world of Canada, and I've never gotten used to it.
All right, I've got a question for you regarding evolution.
I love evolution. Yeah.
Okay, so, how long will it take humans in the northern hemisphere. Well, no, it's not necessarily in the northern hemisphere. In the colder,
the north,
environment,
with the north,
to essentially become immune to the cold, because humans that live on the equator, where it's the hottest point, are used to it.
Yeah, they don't really sweat as much as others.
You know, in these tribes in
long-standing
where they're chasing down animals in the bush all day, and they're doing all those marathon runners in Ethiopia that do the marathons in the desert.
Kenya specifically.
Right?
The Kenyans.
Yeah, they're fast.
They're just used to the heat. Their bodies, because they were born there.
Here's the thing. We don't have to wait to find out. It's not a hypothetical. So human beings, our ability to adapt to our environment, like we're all the same species. We have yet to evolve like to a different species. We've been humans for, or not humans, but specifically Homo sapiens. We have been that for, I think, 100,000 years, maybe a bit less. So we can still say that humans have existed for 200,000 years or more, but the specific genus that we are now, that every human being on the planet is, no matter how tall and skinny you are or how short and thick you are, we've all been Homo sapiens for like 100,000 years. Around 70,000 years ago, we started taking the hides off of animals and putting it on ourselves, and then we, invented clothing basically, and we were able to use that to start traveling north. Before then, I'm sure people tried and they just died. So we start first seeing signs of human beings in Europe and the Himalayas, Russia, Asia, these colder places on the planet around this time, once we invent clothing as a thing, just putting fur on our backs. So once we start migrating, we kind of go around the belt of those string of islands from Singapore and Indonesia and the Philippines to Australia. We start going up to like Northern Europe and like the UK, and the Vikings start existing. And then we go across the ice bridge that existed the last ice age we had, and we go to the Americas. And so Native Americans, there are several different cultures and countries and stuff that existed before colonizers came, but that happened around 12,000 years ago. So human beings have had a long time to acclimate to different weather patterns, and specifically the indigenous people of northern Canada in the Northwest Territories, like in Nunavut, and now I'm forgetting what the third one's called, because there's three: Northwest Territories, Nunavut, and then
Yellowknife.
Some with an I. Yeah. That wouldn't be one of the provinces, but now I gotta say what it is. What's the third one?
Yellowknife, Yukon, Northwest Territories.
Oh, Yukon. That's it. Sorry. Apologies to my fellow Canadians from the Yukon. The Yukon. Okay, so these are the three northern.
Shout out to Yukon.
Shout out to the Yukon. Yvonne of the Yukon. Everyone from the Yukon.
I used to love that show.
Shout out. Yeah, I love that show.
It was my favorite.
And
I had to show Aidan what it was, because remember Aidan didn't know what it was.
I didn't, but then I was like, oh yeah, I think I've seen that guy before.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
But so people have been there for a very long time, and they hunt mostly sea mammals. I couldn't even say which ones. Who knows? Seals, whatever's in that area, right? And they have meat on them, but they also have a lot of fat, a lot of salts, a lot of fats. And when that is all that your diet is, it restricts your height. It doesn't have a lot of good growth hormones in there to get you nice and tall. So the people that are very short, and because they're eating a lot of fat, they're not outtaking it as much. However, fat is a good insulator. Keeps you warm, right? If you're in an office space with someone who's bigger, they might complain that it's hot more than everyone else. And so they have like AC blasting, stuff like that. So when you're eating a lot of salts and fat in meat, like whale blubber, seal blubber, whatever, stuff like that, your body is essentially, you are what you eat kind of a thing, especially if you've been doing it for thousands and thousands of years, like just generations of people. And so your body acclimates to that type of weather. And so even though you're not like evolving into a different species, right? Like seals evolved over like 1 million years to end up looking what they look like.
Mm-hmm.
But so for us, we just eat them, and then we kind of like become mini versions of them. And their specific bodies are very short and stocky, and it holds in heat. And so even though obviously you still want to wear a coat because it's freezing all the time, they are very comfortable. They're not like living the worst life in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they are. I should gaslight them. They're having their own experiences. They might be not enjoying themselves, but they are. It's livable. They survive in those environments. And if you took someone who was very, very tall and skinny, their heat would dissipate very quick. So you take a Kenyan and just put him in the Yukon and say, now live here for the rest of your life. It would be extremely dangerous, and he would need a lot more care than those people. He would need to be around heat a lot more, be around the fire. So
that's me.
Yeah, but like it wouldn't even necessarily take thousands of years. Well, man, yeah.
I'm a Kenyan here. I'm a Kenyan in Canada now. I'm a Canadian with -6.
Yeah,
I'm freezing all the time. I'm chilly.
Yeah.
I come out of the shower. I'm like, oh my god, I need a whole fur robe.
Yeah, just for an hour shower, and then once you get out, you're still freezing. Yeah. No, I feel that, man. I'm not shaking. I'm always cold. I'm always good. That's why I hate winter, man. It's because I'm not built for it. Like it's just But here's the thing: if like I'm like second/third generation Canadian, my grandparents were like immigrants from Europe, so they had milder climates than here in Canada, and if like let's say I just stay in the cold and I eat a specific diet. And then, we have kids, and then our kids have kids, and they all, even though we have grocery stores, so no one would do this, but let's say we have like a cult in the woods or something, and then we only eat a specific diet that would, our bodies would intake, and then we would essentially like form more fats, and we wouldn't be as tall, all that kind of stuff. Proteins wouldn't, we wouldn't be getting certain things in our diet. Then, let's say 4 generations down the line, not that long from now, like 100 years worth of generations of people eating a certain way, my great-great-grandkids would be perfectly fine living in the Northwest Territories. It doesn't take long to adapt. It still takes more than a single lifetime. So you can acclimate as much as possible, but you can't change your physiology that much. There's like a threshold that can happen inside of one lifetime. So people from Kenya, their kids will always be tall and skinny. People from the Yukon and Nunavut and Northwest Territories will always be shorter and stockier. But they change their diets now, they change their climate, their kids, and that kind of stuff. It will eventually change because of that whole, you are what you eat kind of a thing. The diet and the climate changes, how you are. Just that's part of the fun of evolution.
You need to adapt.
Science, bitch.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, okay, so we're already like over an hour, but going into next episode, I want to talk to you guys, and we have talked about this before.
Oh, okay.
But I want to bring up the paranormal because I may or may not be starting to do some research into Toronto haunted houses and stuff. So it's not the season at all, but just for fun. Yeah, what the heck?
Okay.
Look into some stuff,
Let's do it.
And we'll see. And then also we'll just see what happens next week in the news and whatnot. We'll see if Russia invades.
Bring your ghost stories. Bring your proton packs.
Exactly.
Bring your
shitty draws.
Bring your shitty draws.
Sure, yeah.
Holy water. Your crucifix. Your stake. And your hammer.
Exactly. Yeah. And a waiver form. In case you got to kill some people, you say it's not my fault. They were possessed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring it all. Bring the legal paperwork. We're good to go. Yeah.
And read your Bible.
That's right. That's right. Read the Bible, smoke some weed, have a good time.
Yep.
See some ghosts. Yeah. Nice. But dope. All right. Well, hey, I mean, there we go. That was a little 2-week catch up. It's good if there's not a lot of stuff in the news, even though World War III is kind of a big thing. But aside from that,
aside from imminent doom, we're all just numb to now. We're all so numb to it that no one gives a shit. Literally, World War III is about to start in Europe, and no one gives a shit anymore because we're just so numb.
Whatever.
We just don't care.
Who cares? Yeah. Yeah, it's like a poker face. It's like, oh yeah, you're gonna invade? Then do it. Quit talking and let's see some action. And then they do it, and we all go, oh my god, no.
Oh shit, he has nukes.
I have to enlist now, and I don't have a choice. I don't like this anymore. This isn't fun.
People are too woke. They won't enlist people anymore. Too woke for that. Yeah.
Love it. Hey, I mean, I'm here for not dying. Hell yeah. Yep. Survival of those that don't.
I hope for someone else's war. Urgh.
Heck no. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just go there as a civilian. I won't even record anything. I'll literally just hang out in war zones. Be like, hey, I'm not a soldier. I'm just here to chill.
I'm making TikTok dances.
Yeah, exactly. I'm flossing on the battlefield. Bullets are flying by. They're like, no, don't shoot that guy in the middle of the battlefield. He's not a soldier. They go, oh, okay.
Okay, he's too cocky.
Don't shoot him. He's Axel Weber.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, he's not part of the war. He's not part of the battle.
He's just Axel Weber. He's just making a TikTok.
Yeah, ignore that guy.
There we go. We brought it back around to the beginning. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Join us next time where things are going to get spooky.
Exactly. Next time, Derron's going to be on camera and both of us won't be.
Oh my gosh, that would be so spooky. That would be spooky.
Each one of us will be in each of your ears, Derron. Talking
yes.
You guide us through the spiritual.
And you guys, now you just see my reactions.
Little ASMR. Spooky. Yeah. Choose which ear we do, you know? Yeah.
Oh, there's a ghost behind you.
Yeah. But hey, that's until next time. So for now, thank you so much, as always, for listening. And until next time, hey, we'll see you guys in February. Spooky February, right? Isn't that what you call it?
Spooky February.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye now.